Is it true we might getting a Gypsy and Myron collaboration? I don't know. I don't know. Like, look, Myron is a nice guy, and I appreciate him being like a based, you know what I mean, which is kind of funny in itself. But I don't know if I could go on there. Not because so much of Myron, but more because, like, his whole fucking staff is. Like, I'm gonna go on there. I'm gonna say what, because I'm not gonna. If let's say I went on, I'm not gonna hold back. I'm gonna say what I say, and then one of them might get pissed off. They want to fight. I don't give a shit, but I mean, do I really want to put myself in that position? Which is like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Myron, I'm sure would like be like, hey, like chill out. But one of them are gonna get all pissy. So like, I don't know. And it's not so much that I wouldn't do it, but it's more like I'm not gonna go on there with a bunch of. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. Like, if I would talk to Myron like one-on-one, I would do it. But I'm not gonna go on there with a bunch of fat whores. You know what I mean? And his whole staff there. And they're gonna get all pissed off about something I say. Like, again, I appreciate Myron. He's, you know what I mean? He's been cool about stuff. You know, and even George Lincoln Rockwell talked to Malcolm X, so it's not like out of the realm of, you know what I mean, possibility that stuff like that happens. But I don't think it's something that is gonna be good for me, because if I go on, then everyone's gonna bash me too. They're gonna be like, oh look, he talked to the blah blah blah. So I don't know. But again, I do appreciate what Myron said about me. He's been very polite. He's been very kind, very supportive, and I think he's a good man, which I don't ever say about blacks. But beyond that, I don't think so. I don't think it'd be good for me. And look, I'm sure someone's going to clip it and like send it to Myron. Myron, if you see it later, like, look, you're a good dude. I like you, and I appreciate all the kind words, and I've said very nice things about you. And I know me and you are like, you know, we're cool. And I do know that some of your fans have asked me to come on, but I don't think that I could do it, man. I just don't think I can. You know, I don't need my character or what I've built coming into question. So, because I believe in this and I really love it and I would never want to throw it away. And I don't think that that's the case as far as like Myron goes, but it would just be a whole like controversy and everything. But do I count Myron as a decent man? Yes. Do I respect what he says and his takes on some things? I think that he does have some really good takes, and he does say the truth about a lot of situations with the blacks and with the Jews. He calls these things out. He's not afraid to. So I can respect that. I really can. No, I don't. It's not about what the. It's about the whole. How can I put this? It's about how the whole thing would be perceived. They're gonna say, let's say I go on, right? They're gonna say that, oh look, he doesn't hate that much, or he's not really about that life because he's going on and talking. Like, that's what everyone's gonna say, and it's not the truth. Like, I don't want those people around. I don't like them. I don't want them around. I don't want to live with them. I don't want to be around them. I don't want them to go to our schools. I don't want them to be in our government. I don't want nothing. I want them gone. So if I go on and I talk to him, they're going to say, oh, well, look, he's like, you know, he doesn't really give a shit. And that's not the truth. So I'm just not going to do it. So that's the whole thing. But beyond that, Myron he's a good dude. You know what I mean? For some of the stuff he said about me, and I appreciate it very much. I really do. I'm not trying to, how can I put it? Myron has said very nice things about me. So I don't want to shit on the guy because, you know, he gave me a courtesy. I want to give him the same courtesy, you know, and be civil. You know, at the end of the day, we're white and we can be civil. But at the same time, like, for me to go on the show, I don't know if that's really going to work. Right. I mean, look, I can be a gentleman about the whole thing.
Okay. And here I was thinking that, racist people have no integrity. They don't stand for anything. They're just acting out of sheer emotion and things like that. No, he proved me wrong. This guy has some integrity, man. Like he said, no, I don't care if you're one of the biggest white supremacist racist content creators across the globe. I'm not going to come on your show. Why? Because you're black. You are blackety black. And I don't want to be seen with your kind. I don't want to kick it with you. I don't want to skate with you. I don't want anything to do with you. As a matter of fact, your staff, those friends that you love so much, they're also black. And I don't want anything to do with them. Here's the thing about bootlicking and set switching and whatever you want to call it, raccooning, whatever you want to call what Myron does when he when he downs all the blacks and just says that he wants whites to take over the country. He's a confessed white supremacist. Let's be honest with you. But the thing about it is, it never results in the other team actually coming to save you. I remember he was in a Twitter space last year and a call got leaked. A Twitter space call got leaked, in which case one of the white supremacists in the Twitter space asked Myron, he said, hey, I appreciate all the work you're doing here with us trying to, get our country in order. But what are you going to do when we kick all the minorities out? Because you're a minority and we don't want you here. And he called him a sand hard ER. And then Myron jumped in his shit and went off. But here's the thing. The guy that said those racist things was holding more steadfast to his beliefs than Myron was at that point, which was crazy because it's like, at least he's sticking up for his own team. You are literally the epitome of what they hate. Even though they're going to say you're a nice guy, hey, you did a lot for us. At the end of the day, you're still a hard ER to them. And that's the thing the thing I never understood about the whole bootlicking community, and I'm not saying every black conservative is a bootlicker, because of course they're not. There's exceptions. You have people that they have conservative values, but they don't go as far as to downing their own people and telling their fans online that they want the white race to take over the country and blah, 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 and there should be no minorities. This rhetoric that Myron spits. But it never comes back to anything good. It never comes to help you. You know what I mean? These people don't like you. You are a roach to them. Not only are you a roach, you're a roach that's advertising for Raid Roach Killer. So you're a helpful roach, but at the end of the day, you're still advertising what's going to eventually be the architect of your own demise. Which to them, they feel like, oh, this is so smart. We got one of their own. Guess what? We got a lion to kill other lions, to convince other lions to walk off the cliff. It's going to be a safer place for all of us. That's how they think about you. But it's very lucrative. And that's the reason I think that a lot of these content creators choose the path of the racist content creator, because it is lucrative. There are a lot of people who have those same like minds, even though it'll never amount to anything constructive and nothing will ever be done about this because there's just a general lack of power there. It's still lucrative. And that's why I think a lot of these people do it. But for Paul, which is who is a smaller racist content creator in comparison to Myron Gaines, this is a huge step, because what I want to know is, what's the next step? Like, what else black are you going to reject? Like, you never know. He could get an invitation to be on some talk show with a major talk show host that happened to be black, bigger than Myron. Is he going to reject that too? Are we no longer watching football games because black people play in the NFL? Can we not watch Marvel movies because there's a black person in every movie? How far does this stretch? I'm so curious about this. I'm so curious about it. And what concessions have you had to make in your life in order to avoid black people? There should be a study on this. I want to see the data on this type of stuff, man. This is just so interesting. But hey, at least he held on to his integrity. He rejected Myron. And I think this is going to be kind of a wake up call for Myron. I don't think he's going to take this lightly. Even if he does say he took it lightly on camera, I know deep down this probably feels like a breakup or rejection to him. Sooner or later, he's going to get it through his head because he is a smart guy. He may not be wise, but he is fairly intelligent. He's going to realize one day he's fighting for a team that wants to see him dead, that wants to see him in the grave. You know, a part of me is glad that he rejected Myron so Myron can kind of get another wake-up call, because sooner or later he's going to realize these people don't like you. These people want to see you deported too. These people actually think you're less than the Africans that were born here, bro, because they think you're not only an African by descent, but you're an immigrant. Your people just got here, you know? It's just so funny to me. But anyway, I want to know what y'all think about this topic. And as always, if you like what you see, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll check y'all next time.